Space for more plants, always space for more plants. All right, guys, just come and settle into your seat. Land for a few moments at least. And let's just be in this space. However long it is since you got up, wherever you have to go or not go or not do after this, be here for now, for the next 45 minutes. Just take moment by moment, feel your way through the next wee while. But start with that, noticing how are you just now? How are you as you sit here on your mat? Be that physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. How are you doing? What do you notice? Give yourself time to notice whatever that is. And let that guide your practice. And then when you're ready, you'll take your arms to the side and we'll take a really big shrug up of the shoulders. Take them up as high as you can, let your hands relax. And see if you can go a little bit higher and then let them slide back down. Then out breath, good stuff. Let's do it another couple of times. So bring them up, hold your breath. And then breathe out. Let them slide away, brilliant. One more time. And breathe out. Good stuff. And then let your shoulders roll. Sometimes it takes a breathing in and holding a breath to get a good out breath. And then let shoulders settle and give your hands a wee shake out. Give them a really good shake out. If you're trying to shake water off your fingers. Brilliant. Okay. And then let them land. And just from doing that, just notice how you are. Sometimes that can be all we need to just make a difference in some way, shape, or form if we need it. And then take your right hand to the side, lift up your left arm, and take a side bend. And if you can, take a little push with your right hand into the floor, just to set you into your left sitting bone and feel the reach to the side of your left ribs. And then bring that down, swap it over. So left hand to the side, reach up, and then give a little push with the left hand. Settle right into your right sitting bone and reach up through the ribs, armpit, side of the arm. Good. And then swap that over again. And just check your breathing as you're here. Steady breath. And then we'll swap it over again. Okay. A little bit quicker, but not looking to be quick with it particularly. Swap it over again. We'll do one more each side. And swap over. Brilliant. And then bring it back to the center again. A little roll of the shoulders. And again, just notice. Awesome. And we'll take a little twist to the right, bringing your left hand round, holding your legs. And maybe take your gaze round to the right. Stop for a breath. And then back to the center. And we'll do the same on the other side. So stopping for breath, giving yourself time to look to the left. And then come back to the center. We'll go the other side again. Looking a little bit quicker this time. And swap it over. So not rushing it, but just getting a little bit more flow with it, I suppose. And we'll go one more time each side. And then back to the center. A roll the shoulders, and one more time, just stop, notice how you feel. And then we'll do one more thing here. You're going to take your hands in front of you where they touch the floor. You might be able to walk yourself forward a little bit. Don't force it if it's not happening in your hips, but if you can do so and it feels gentle enough to start the class, then just a little kind of fold, maybe feel your hands on the floor. Stop for that breath. And then we'll walk the hands slightly over to the right, folding a little bit more over that right thigh, but staying steady with your left sitting bone. And see if the shoulders can be settled so they're not trying to like lift up and draw you forward. And then back to the center and walk it over to the other side. A little fold over the left leg. Again, shoulders soft. They're not hauling up to your ears as you do this. And then back to the center, walk yourself back up from that. Uncross the legs, take a little windscreen wiper with them. And then you're going to cross them again, and this time cross them the opposite way. She says try to work it out herself. So it's going to be the way that doesn't feel as comfortable or usual for you. Brilliant. So just kind of settle into that. And then again, hands to the front of you, and if they can walk forward, great. Worry if they can, in particular on this side, it might feel that you've not got the same range. Perfectly normal. And then we'll walk the hands over to the left, a little fold over the left thigh, leg this time. Job, take a breath. And then back to the center and a little walk over the right leg, thigh. And shoulders relaxed. Well done, guys. And then come back to the center, walk your hands back, lift yourself up, and again stop for a wee moment just to notice. Sometimes just this littlest of movements can make a difference. Nice. Uncross your legs, come on onto all fours. Once you're there, spread your hands out, and then in your own time do a few cat-cows, or any kind of variation of arching and hauling your spine that feels good to do. So it might not be a simple cat-cow. You might want to kind of wag your tail a wee bit or drop the shoulders a wee bit, just let yourself move. There might be a wee side-to-side wiggle, anything that feels good to do there. And then just whenever you're ready, if you're wiggling about a bit more, that's fine, but you'll take your knees wide, toes together, and press yourself back into child's pose. Reaching the arms out if you can. The elbows might drop, or you might prefer to be kind of up on the fingertips with the elbows lifting. It might be a more active reach, or it might be a kind of passive reach with the elbows soft. Stop for a breath. Thanks, well done, guys. And then walk your hands back, come back up onto all fours. And then up to your knees to roll your shoulders, and let's start getting a little bit more opening through the hips and the legs. So you're going to take the hands back, press your hip bones forward, open out the front of the body. Take a wee gaze up with the breastbone, and I'll lengthen down with the knuckles. It's as if the knuckles are trying to reach towards the floor, and the breastbone's doing the opposite. Nice. And then soften the breastbone, unclasp the hands. And you're going to take one foot forward, doesn't matter which one, bring one forward, come in a wee low lunge. And maybe just kind of take a wee wiggle with the knee in and out. So your foot's staying quite steady, but you're feeling a bit more weight to the inside of the foot, the outside of the foot as you kind of wiggle that hip and then sink into it. So a nice deep crease into the front of your thigh on that front leg. Nice. And then we'll push back. And we'll do the same on the other side. We'll land in the other leg, coming into that first wee low lunge, and then maybe a bit of a kind of wiggle. The knee goes out and then a wee bit just to open the hip, get a bit of mobility through the hip. Nice. And then settling into the sturdiness of that foot, feeling your low lunge. Brilliant, well done, guys. And then press that back. Come back to onto both knees. This time I'll take the arms up. So still pressing the hip bones forward, let your kneecaps settle sturdy into the floor as the fingertips reach up. Nice. Maybe a slight gaze up. I sense that shoulder blades are sinking towards the floor as the fingertips lift up. And then from that reach up, you're going to bring it down to the floor. You're going to bring your hands to the floor. Find your palms, tuck your toes, and come into a down dog. And there's always child's pose as an option if you need it. Whichever one you choose, just let yourself lengthen the sides of your waist, Let yourself reach out through the arms, hips settling back. If you're in down dog, walk through the feet for a wee bit and then settle, drawing the heels down, imagining the sole of your foot's just got about an inch longer from the underneath of your toe to the underneath of your heel, and take a big deep breath in and out. Good job. And then come on down to your knees, lift the chest up. And again, we'll take one leg forward, doesn't matter which one, whichever one comes first. So sinking into that lunge. I don't know about you, but coming into it second time, I already suddenly feel very flexible. We're only about 10 minutes in. So whichever knee's in front, keep that there and lift the opposite arm up. So the side with your knees back, you're lifting that arm up. And then the other hand comes onto, steadies onto your thigh. So you can take a side bend across that thigh, but the knee at the back stay really, really steady. Good job, well done. Take a breath in and then out. Nice. And then swap it over. That arm that's in the air is just going to come down by your side, and the arm, the same side as your leg, is going to reach up. And then it's as if you're bending to touch the floor with that outer arm. It may or may not touch the floor, but it's not about reaching the floor. It's more about that kind of length through both arms away from each other. Good job, guys. Come back up to the center, and just for a moment, we'll take the arms nice and wide. We get it wide open in the chest. Lovely. And then bring the arms back in, push that back. Maybe take a bit of a wiggle through the hips. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So bring that other leg forward, sink into it. Maybe I sense that you're drawing that hip back. And then the arm of the long back leg, you know what I mean, is reaching up, the other arm's on the thigh, and we're opening out through that other side now. Brilliant. We're reaching from the side of the hip, through the waist, through the armpit and side of the arm. Good, stay steady on that front foot. And then that arm that's in the air is going to come down towards the floor, the other arm's coming up. And then we're going to take a little tip the other way. So stay steady on that front foot again as well. If we start rolling off that front foot, we're going to literally lose the footing. It keeps us steady. Nice. And then bringing the arms back up, opening them out really, really wide. Like that moment in Titanic. I'm flying, Jack. And then press back from there. Back onto both knees, hands to the floor, and again, either a down dog or a child's pose, whichever one you prefer. You're in down dog again, you might walk through the feet, or you might choose to settle back into child's pose. And at some point in down dog, you'll settle the heels as well. That sense of length through the soles of the feet. Take a big deep breath in and breathe out. And then we're all going to come to all fours. So either knees up or knees down, and find your hands underneath your shoulders. Give it a good press, and nice and tall in your chest, and widen your collarbones. So you're going to keep your hands where they are. You're going to take your right foot back and tuck the toes, and then steady onto your hands again, both hands nice and steady. Lift that right leg and reach it. Imagine it's getting a wee tug, a wee person behind you, just getting a bit of length. And then on an out breath, you're going to round your spine and you're going to draw that knee under, knee to nose. And then you're going to lengthen it back out again on an in breath. Maybe lift it a bit more and then bring it under, knee to nose on an out breath and lengthen it back up. And we'll do another couple of them. Rounding your back. You can always do cat-cow if it feels too much for the leg. One more time, knee to nose. And then you're going to settle that knee down, back to all fours and steady onto all four limbs again. Perfect. Okay. Left leg goes out, tuck the toes and let yourself find the weight into your arms again. Then you're going to lift that left leg. And then once again, when you're ready on an out breath, knee to nose. And on an in breath, lift and lengthen. Good job. Out breath, knee to nose. In breath, lift and lengthen. Nice work, guys. Getting a nice flow in your own rhythm. We're going to do 2 more of them. And once you've done this one, you're on, bringing that knee down, settling back onto all 4 limbs again. And then one last time, either down dog or child's pose, whichever one you want to do. Brilliant. You might kind of, I sometimes find myself going, oh, I'll do a child's pose and then my legs want to lengthen out, or vice versa. I go into down dog and actually my hips want to feel the child's pose instead. So big deep breath in and out. And then you're going to find your way back onto all 4s. We'll come up to our knees. We'll take 1 foot forward and then press up to come up to the top of your mat. So come and stand at the top of your mat. Arms reaching down and stopping there for a moment to settle. Good job, guys. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to take your arms up. You're just taking them up overhead, getting a really, really good reach up through the sides of your body. And then a slight press forward to the pelvis bones, so you feel some weight on the ball of the feet, but the heels are still reaching down. And then from there, a little lift of the breastbone, a soften of the collarbones, and as if the shoulder blades are dropping down towards your lower back. Nice. Take a big in-breath. And on your out-breath, you're going to fold forward, arms come down to wherever they find the legs. You're going to press into the legs and lengthen your spine. And then you're going to breathe out, fold forward more. Let the arms hang if they're not already. And then take time rolling up through your spine. Head's going to come up last. And you're going to stand nice and tall as you lift your head, take a purposeful look forward. And then we'll do that one more time at that kind of pace. So arms come up. You feel a bit more weight into the balls of your feet, but your heels are reaching down. Your pelvis bones are pressing forward. Your breastbones up. Your collarbones are soft. Take a big in-breath when you're ready. And then on the out-breath, fold forward. Let it come down. Hands find the legs. Breathe in and lengthen your spine. And then breathe out and soften. Let the arms hang again. And then take time rolling up. Head stays down. Going to be the last thing that pops up, and as it does, you really take that good look at the day. Here we are. Come on, Tuesday, we've got you. Nice work. Okay. Let's keep our feet hip width apart. So if they're not hip width apart, just take them there. Hands to your hips. Then you're going to bend your knees. You're going to bend at the ankles and the hips, and we're going to come into a little squat. Hey, love this one. And then reach the arms forward. So they're kind of parallel to the floor, maybe a little bit higher. See if you can send the sitting bones down a wee bit, just if they'll go there. Again, look forward. And then in your next in-breath, you're going to come all the way up, arms overhead. And on the out-breath, just bring your arms back down by your side. Settle into a strong stand. Good job, guys. Right. We are going to do that one more time. So hands on hips to start. Bend knees, send hips back. Keep the weight into the balls of the feet and the heels, and then send the arms forward. Forward and slightly up, but more forward than up. Okay, see if you can send the sitting bones a little bit lower, if they'll go there. And on your next in-breath, you're going to take a big in-breath all the way up. And bring the arms down. And again, stand strong and purposeful. Good job, guys. Nice. Okay. Hands come to the hips, so I don't get confused. We'll go right leg. We'll do right leg together. So right leg back, coming into warrior 2. Okay, so turn that right foot, bend the left knee, open out to the right side of your mat, and just come on into warrior 2. And let's really, really lengthen the upper arms and collarbones out from the breastbone. Nice. Your back arm's going to come down. You're going to straighten the front leg, and we're going to come into reverse triangle. Good. See if you can reach that top arm up and reach the lower arm down. So you really open that left side of the body. From reverse triangle, we're going to come into triangle. So we're going to swap the arms. reach up through the right. And then it's a slight drawback of the left hip, as if it's coming to meet the right inside thigh. Steady in the feet. Good job, guys, well done. Big deep breath, opening the chest to the right. And then in your next in-breath, the arms come back up and we come to warrior two. So bend in that front knee. Good stuff. We're going to do that all once again. So reverse triangle, straighten the front leg, drop the back arm, lift the top arm. Nice. When you're ready on an out breath, you're going to come into triangle. We're going to stop for a breath. And then in your next in breath, you come up to warrior two. And we breathe out here. Good job. One more time. Lift the top arm, straighten the front leg, breathe in. If you can get the breath, go with it. If not, don't worry. Breathe out to triangle. Stop for an in and an out breath. On your next in breath, transition into warrior two. Breathe out. Nice. And then look down your front arm to the front of the mat, swivel on your back foot or take a few steps and come to the top of your mat. And just stop there. Look forward, steady into your feet. Perfect. And we will do the same on the other side. So hands come to hips, take your left foot back, transition into warrior two. You're going to settle into that. Open the arms, get a real length through from the breastbone to the inside of the elbows. Nice. Steady into your feet, so feel the soles of your feet, heels, balls of foot. Nice. Then your back arm, your left arm comes down as your right arm comes up and you straighten that right leg for reverse triangle. So for a wee moment here, feel the reach through the top arm, the reach down the back arm. And then when you're ready on an out breath, we're going to transition that to triangle. So folding over that right leg. And there might be a slight drawback of the right hip as if it's trying to reach the inside of your left thigh. The arms lengthen away from each other. Well done. Just check your breathing. And your next in breath will transition up to warrior two. We'll breathe out and stop here for a wee moment. Good job, guys. Well done. Okay. Do that another couple of times with a bit more flow. So right arm comes up, right leg straightens. Breathe in. On your next out breath, you come into triangle. Stop for an in and an out breath. And then your next in breath, we transition to warrior two. And then we let the out breath settle. Good job. Breathe in back to reverse triangle, front leg straightens. On your out breath, we're back into triangle. Stop for an in and an out breath. And then your next in breath, we transition back to warrior two again. Brilliant. Breathe out, look to the front of your mat, and then find your way there. Swivel or a step to the back foot, and we're back at the top of the mat. Okay, so stop for a wee moment, settle, feel your heels, balls of feet, and then let's just take the hands behind us, reach the knuckles down to the floor, and the breastbone up, just so we come into a bit of a lengthen out that's less asymmetric. And then just let that soften. Hands come back to hips. Okay, look. So we're going to, again, so I don't get confused, we'll take the right foot back. We're going to end up staying facing that top end of your mat. Right foot's back and both heels are down. So that back foot's lengthened just enough that you can feel a good stride, but you can also put the whole of that back foot down. Come in a wee bit more, and like you're on tram tracks, that thing. Okay. And really lift up through that front leg, so you get a real lengthening through the front of your body. We'll draw the elbows together. I always think it's like a, I don't know, it's like a swan drawing its wings back, this one. Nice. And then you're going to take your right hand, reach it forward, and then you're going to follow it as you fold. So keep your left hand and your left hip, almost kind of drawing it back. And then take that right hand to meet your left leg, anywhere but the kneecap. So inside of thigh, calf, shin. Nice. And then see if you can let your chest take a little look to the left. So we've got reverse triangle here. Stay steady in the feet. So your right leg might go, I can do that if I spin out and you lose that kind of hip stability. These look brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Good job, guys. Take a breath in and breath out. And then your next in breath, you're going to lift that right arm, reach it forward all the way up to the ceiling. And then bring it back to your hips and step forward. And we're back in mountain pose at the top of your mat. Reach the arms down. Fantastic. Well done. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So hands to hips. Your left foot comes back. Same thing that we want to find a good steady length of stride, but you can feel your heel at the back of both feet and the balls of the feet. Good. If you can slightly draw that right hip back as you reach your left arm forward. And then you're going to follow that left arm, reach in the torso, and then that left hand comes somewhere to the inside of your right leg that's not your kneecap. Well done. Lovely. Use your left leg to push a bit of length forward onto the ball of your right foot as you draw your right hip back. And then can you take a little pivot with the torso towards the right? Good stuff. Oh, this is my wobbly side. So stay for a breath. And then when you're ready, on the next in breath, the left arm's going to reach forward all the way up to the ceiling again. And then hand to hip as you step back to the front of your mat and reach the arms down. Good stuff. Well done. Okay, take the arms up above you. And you just stay facing the front of the mat, but we're going to take a bit of a bend to one side and then a bend to the other side. And then you might want to do that another couple of times each way to get that length, bit of movement through the spine, and a settle into the heels and the balls of the feet. Bringing the arms down once you're ready and standing nice and strong again. Good job. Okay. Hands to hips. You're going to take a step back to the long side of the mat. My suggestion is you just come to the side that you can best see me. Okay. Your toes are going to be pointing forward. Nice. And then we're going to press the hip bones forward, weight slightly into the balls of the feet, the heels are down. And then again, those elbows draw back as the breastbone lifts. Nice. Keep the elbows drawn back as you now draw the hips back and fold over your legs. So wherever you fold to, reaching out. And then take the hands, clasp them behind you, and see if you can drop the head towards the floor as the arms lengthen away from you. So the arms might reach to the behind you, they might come up towards the ceiling if they've got that flexibility, into some kind of forward fold. And then focus on your knuckles reaching away from you. And in your next in breath, you're going to press them down towards the floor as you lift your head up. And we're back, lifting up, knuckles reaching down. Good job. Hands come to your hips. And then you're going to turn the heels in slightly and the toes out slightly. Good job. Okay. So play with this one. Just go with where your legs kind of want to take you. I'll mirror you. You're going to bend your right knee and drop slightly over to the right. Lengthen out the left. Press back up to the center and then swap it over. Nice. Press back to the center and swap it over. So you might play with this, you might lift the opposite foot, you don't need to. Good job, we'll do it another couple of times. You might find you get a little bit wider as you do this. Again, you don't need to, you might drop down a wee bit more. So just play with what feels good for you. Nice. And once you've done this last one on each side, you're going to stop back to the center again. Nice. Keep your toes out and just take a big reach up Lengthen up again, maybe a slight press forward to the hip bones. And then keep the arms up as you walk your feet in to about hip width apart. And then once more, we'll take a bend to one side. And then up over to the other side. Come back to the center and bring the arms down. And just clasp them behind you for a wee moment. But not so rigid that you can't move. And then take a little twist to one side and a little twist to the other. Your hips will move a wee bit as well. Totally fine. Brilliant. Back to the center. Reaching the knuckles down, press the hip bones forward. And then let's from here, I'll turn this way so you can see. Let's from here bend the knees and then fold over those legs. Okay, so keep the arms at the back if you, there's a bit of a squat. You might keep the arms at the back of the body, or you might like to drop the head more and reach the hands up. We'll play with where you want to go here. Good. And then on your next in breath, focus on the knuckles again. They're going to reach down to the floor as you straighten your legs, you stand up tall. Breathe in, breathe out. And then unclasp the hands, and you're going to walk back to the top of the mat one more time. Good stuff. Okay. So let's finish on our feet where we started. You're going to take a big reach up. Press the hip bones forward slightly, lift the breastbones, slight gaze up. And then in your next out breath, you're going to fold forward, let the arms drop down. They're going to find the legs, and you're going to reach in, breathe in, reach through the arms, and breathe out and fold forward. Let the arms hang, and we'll take a roll up through the spine. And then we'll do that one more time. So when you're ready, arms come up, stop for a moment to really enjoy that reach. And on an out breath, you're then going to fold over. Hands to shins or thighs, lengthen. And then breathe out as you fold more. You might bend the knees lots, give the head, give the arms a wee shiggle out if that feels nice. And then in your own time, come and find your way down onto all fours. We'll meet there. Spread the hands out, steady onto the hands. Nice. And just feel a bit of length through the tailbone and the crown of the head, through the arms and through the thighs. So we'll take the right leg back and tuck the toes and get a bit of steadiness through the arms, then walk the left hand forward. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift that left hand, right leg and reach it. So think length, like a pointer dog going, that's the way to go. Forward and back. And really steady into that back shin or foot and that front hand. Stay a little bit longer here. Enough that the wobbles start to come and we have to kind of correct them. And then bring it back down, steady back onto all four limbs. Feel the length through your waist. Good job. And then take the left foot back, tuck the toes, steady into it, walk the right hand forward, and then lift and lengthen that opposite. And again, point. So the crown of the head's pointing where the hand is. The gaze is down rather than up. And again, we'll stay long enough that the wobbles kick in, and we have to steady them. Brilliant, well done. And then coming back down onto all fours, steady onto all four limbs. And then whichever one you choose, a child's pose or a down dog, come back into something a bit more symmetric. Whichever one you want is the right one. And stop for a breath. Lengthen through the waist, the arms. And let the shoulders root into the body. Brilliant. And then we'll all meet again on all fours. So coming down or up to all fours, just for a game. We're going to go one more time with the balance. Good job. Okay. So right leg's going to come back again. Left hand's going to walk forward. And then we come back into that balance we just did. Find all that reach through the limbs, all 4 limbs and both sides of the waist. Now you can stay here, or you might want to breathe out round the spine, bring elbow and knee towards each other, and then lengthen it out and lift them away. Lift the chest and do that another couple of times. So it's entirely up to you. You might quite like the movement. You might prefer the steadiness. But once you've done 3 lengthens, if you're going with that, come back onto all 4s and steady it out so we all meet on all 4s. Nice. And then we do that on the other side. So left leg back, right hand wanders forward. Lift and lengthen. Find that steadiness first. So if you're going to move, go with the flow. Find that place to begin with. And then when you're ready, you might want to bring elbow towards thigh, knee towards nose, and lengthen up. Doing it 3 times if you're going with the movement. Staying steady and still and lengthening is also good. And then we'll meet back on all 4s. Once you're there, take a big cat stretch, let your tailbone drop down to the space between your kneecaps. Let the head drop down. And then one more time, either child's pose or down dog, whichever you prefer. Give it any last wee wiggles that feel nice. Or spread the hands out a wee bit more, spread the toes if you're in down dog. Breathe in, breathe out. And if you're in down dog, coming down from that when you're ready to come and find a seat. If you're in child's pose, coming up from that when you're ready to come and find a seat with your legs out in front of you. Cool. Okay, okay. So if I mirror you, we'll go left leg out, right leg in. And give that leg a good hug. So use the leg to pull a bit of length up into your spine. Good. And then you're going to keep your right leg holding round it as you lift your left arm up. Right arm, leg. Take that left elbow and bring it down to the outside of your right knee. And then take the right hand behind, find the floor and see if you can give yourself a bit of a push of height. Nice. Then take a little check into your seat. So I sometimes do this and discover that my glutes are literally trying to lift me off the floor. And as if I'm trying to hover off the floor. Settle into your seat. Let the back of your left leg steady, soften. And then gaze to that right side of you. You can look curiously around there. And then your own time, come back to the center. We're going to keep that right leg where it is, and we're going to hug it more, and then go the other way. It's just a slightly different twist, but it's different on the hips as well. So you're almost kind of trying to hug that knee into your armpit. Doesn't matter if it doesn't get there, just somewhere where you've got a good hold of it. And then look into your left. You might feel it's a bit different here. Again, checking with that left leg that it's as relaxed as it can be. And then back round to the center, bend both knees and take a few windscreen wipers. Cool. And then same on the other side. Okay, so you kind of lengthen your right leg and draw your left knee in. And take time to just kind of lift yourself up, right? Cool, okay. So right arm comes up, right elbow finds as best it can the outside of that left knee, left hand behind, and it's a bit of kind of leverage to pull yourself round. The elbow doesn't go, just give it a hug. Find some height, look round to that left side, and then again, check in with your seat. You're as relaxed as you can in your seat, so it's your spine that's lifting and twisting. Good job. I feel like I need to do a wee report in each week. I've done my yoga. Once we get to October, I've done my yoga, guys. It's all good. come back round to the centre. And then that left arm's going to hug the left knee and the right arm goes back and we twist round to the right. We'll keep hugging that knee in towards you. Brilliant, well done. And check your seat. Another breath or two here. And then take it back to the centre. This time you're going to come and lie on your back and you're going to windscreen wiper your legs from there. We'll just take a wee symmetric stop before our reflection. So knees back to the centre, and then let's just go with hooking at the back of the knees or top of knees if that feels a bit more secure for you. It doesn't really matter. But just letting your shoulder blades drop to the floor, letting the back of your body settle into the mat. And if it feels good, you might want to kind of draw the knees wide, get an opening in the hips. If you've had enough of that, then instead you can hug the knees and draw them in. Maybe take a wee rock on your back. Anything that feels more symmetric, a bit more kind of supportive. Perfect. And then if you keep hold of one knee and slide the other leg out, let's get a good reach of it, swap that over. And then you might want to take that knee that's in your hands down to the floor and reach it out, or you might prefer to hug them both in or stop your knees bent. So it's take any sort of wee final move before you settle for our couple of minutes of quiet time. Just finding a place you can settle and enjoy being, feel quite comfy for. Nice. And maybe there's a big deep breath in and out. And then we'll take this time, meet back in a couple of minutes to finish the practice. Stay for longer if that's what you need this morning, if that's what you want. If you feel ready to bring practice to a close, then some gentle movement, taking your time to find a position that you can close practice from, whatever that is for you. When you do get there, give yourself a moment again to notice, to see how you're doing after it's 45 minutes we've had together. Notice what you notice. Maybe use that to inform the rest of your day. And also notice if there is something at this moment that feels you want to capture for the rest of your day. Put it into it, anything specific that pops to you. And if there's nothing, that's also completely fine. But if there is, seal it in with a breath or two. And then when you're ready, we'll roll the shoulders. Take a big scrunch up of the shoulders, lengthen of the spine, and then let the shoulders settle down. Give the hands a wee shake out. And then bring them together to your heart center. Give yourself a big thanks for coming to the mat, practicing, moving, and making the time for yourself. Thank you for me for coming to your mat. And as always, genuinely mean it. Thank you for being you. Namaste.